Lifestyle, child of God. Good evening to you guys. Good evening. It's almost evening. Good late afternoon. Shout out to you out there. Um, man, it's feeling great outside. You know, the storm is coming through, but it feels great outside. Been trying to motivate myself to go do this run. I'm ready to go run, but I might have to wait a little bit longer. It's just waiting for my body to lighten up and just feel ready to go do this run. It's pretty breezy outside today, but the weather still feels great. It still feels phenomenal. And um, yeah, so gatekeepers, um, gatekeepers, um, the people who stand in front of access. Um, I've been wanting to do this for a little while and talk about this gatekeeper situation because I'm being gatekept. Trust and believe I'm being gatekept. You know what I mean? I've created many of avenues of ways for me to make it through or to get through, but I'm being prevented by gatekeepers. The access, the doors that open. Um, I'm being prevented. You know what I mean? And there's this hedge, if you will, like in front of me or above me from going to those next um to those next avenues of escalation and success. I'm being gatekept. I'm being held back. The Lord told me it was a principality, you know what I mean? And so now I put these figures here to represent gatekeepers, but I'm being gatekept on it. It doesn't matter the nationality or culture that a lot of people are from. I'm being gatekept, and I know I'm being gatekept. The Lord has confirmed it. You know, Template kid. Hi, Template kid. Hopefully you an adult. There's some weird stuff going on in the comments. But hello everybody, Coyote Chaos, Template Kid. Oop, um, what's good? Levitating Levy. I like that name. That's an interesting name. But yeah, there's gatekeepers out there. Thank God. There's gatekeepers out there and they prevent people from escalating the ladders of success and opportunity. Um, and I did this because yeah, the Lord has confirmed to me, and I'm whoa, who are these people in the comments? Let me remove that one, and let me remove this one. Child of God, hello, confidence. Is that confidence with the Lord? Look, y'all. This is why I don't answer the chat. I wish I could block the chat sometimes so I don't be distracted from what I'm my goals. Because sometimes, but I don't know what's Joe Rogan clips. No, I'm not removing people. I don't remove people, but I might remove some of the comments that might be said just because I don't know if I'm interpreting correctly or reading it correctly. Because then sometimes there'd be some weird stuff. There was a dude up here one day, and I don't even know if it was a dude, and he kept threatening me. And he was like, "I'm gonna blow up your house if you don't stop streaming." And I was like, "I don't even have a house, so blow it away." It was funny, but let me, since I got a lot of people up here, the 14 people that are up here, just stay up here for a second, if you don't mind. What's up, Bull Gang official? How you doing? Stay up here for a second, if you don't mind. You know, I got to, I got some new followers on my Instagram, and I don't even do my Instagram like that. And I was like, where are these followers coming from? Because I don't even follow nobody on Instagram. I don't know what's going on. And you got ops and stuff, right? So I'm looking into these people, and somebody from my past, their Instagram comes up, and I click on it because not because I want to see it, but because I want to make sure that the people that's following me are not following this person. You know how people like to follow you through other people's pages? They're just weird. They kind of keep an eye on you type thing. The gatekeeping situation, I'm saying, the gatekeepers, they keep an eye on you. You know what I mean? To make sure that they can keep you down because you might be progressing. So they want to keep an eye on you. But I did feel a certain kind of way when I looked at this person's page, and I was just like, man, I had to really say to myself, I had to die to myself and say, how do I feel about seeing this thing? Or, because I don't look at people's success or what they're doing in their life. I move on, especially from the past. If we fell out, I forgive, and hopefully I forgive. And maybe that was a test from God to test to see, like, have you forgiven? And it's like, I did forgive, although I have this strange feeling inside. You know what I mean? And I'm questioning myself even now. That's why I'm asking you guys, am I hating? Am I feeling jealous? Am I feeling envious? Am I feeling behind? You know what I mean? Do I feel like this person has progressed further than me, back further than me? I'm allowing these questions to flow through my mind to process my emotions because I'm looking to be a more refined person and more control of myself. That's where my disability lies. I gotta stay in control of myself, and especially when you have these gatekeepers, you know what I mean? And that doesn't mean that they're all black. I'm just use that as because they look good. You know what I mean? I just think that that looks good. But these gatekeepers that hold keys to these doors of access that I want to go through. And I'll tell you about a story when I was in Gotham City, and only those who know what Gotham City is, they know where this location is at. And there was some brothers there, and they were telling me, when it comes to my musical talent, that they could see it in me. But one of the brothers, he didn't get mad at me, but he did like this, shame on you type thing. Like, he said, you're disrespecting the culture. And I said, brother, I just listened because I'm in this place where I'm just listening. It's like you're disrespecting the culture, feeling that, that you're just supposed to be perfect and just come out with no mistakes and not have to go through the same thing we all went through as artists, the trial and the error. And I said, you know what, you're so right. And I had to get on one knee and submit myself to him because I was like, yo, I am disrespecting the culture, right? Although I have stage fright, I could speak in front of millions of people, but I have stage fright. You know what I mean? It's weird. It's weird. I could speak to millions of people and have them laughing and all that stuff, but I have stage fright. It might take me a minute to get in my mode, into my emotion. It might not. Depends on how I feel. But like when it comes to music, I just have stage fright. I think that's what I'm a chicken at it. The music. I want to do it so badly. I have an amazing talent for it. I have songs that nobody else in the world would come up with. You know, and I think that they're hits. I really do. I believe in myself. However, do I believe in myself enough to get on stage and recite the way that I hear it, the way that I record it, and have that confidence level, and I'm not to worry about whether people are going to laugh or people are going to accept the lyrics or accept the vibes that I'm putting out or accept the music. This is all these things go through your mind, and I kind of want to throw up like Slim Shady. I just want to. I kind of want to throw up. So, um, I think about those things, and then I had to say to myself, like, am I holding myself back? Have I been holding myself back this whole time because of this stage fright? Am I persistently pursuing um 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 am I not being proactive in the things that I could do because I'm nervous about these certain other things? Like, am I procrastinating? That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Am I procrastinating because because of the fear of the stage fright? Right? Because I'd be knocking out songs, like writing them perfectly is a little thing that I have. I just want everything to be perfect and sound like duh, duh, duh. I want it to be smooth and just all these magical things I want to put into the music. Lord, forgive me for using the word magic, but just making it magical. This is the best word I can use to describe it, right? But like the guy said, he's like, you're disrespecting the game because you're supposed to go through trial and error, you know, shame and rebuilding, right? Victory and losses when it comes to this thing. And I'm like, you're so correct. I am disrespecting the game. But the other two brothers, they picked me back up, like, bro, you know, you can do this, but you just got to do it. You just got to jump off the cliff. When you get scared, thank you, Coyote Chaos, for telling people to have a good day. I respect that positivity. But you can do it. So, and I'm just like, oh God, this is so great. And so part of that story goes into my next live, which I'm gonna do later. It's a different topic. But the gatekeepers, you know what I mean? And maybe they will open the gates once I reveal my talent. I had a dream I was in an interesting place. It was an interesting place and in this dream, and it was kind of desert like, and it was very interesting. There was a lot of interesting things going on. But all in all, it was like kind of chaotic, kind of Mad Max situation in this dream. And you know, I was in like an assembly hall, kind of like the high school ones, and then I was on stage, and people just left out, because I had frozen up or something, and I was gonna rhyme, but I didn't rhyme. And as soon as they started walking out, that's when the rhymes came out, and it reminded me of when I used to when I first, because I can swim, right? And when I first had to learn how to swim, right? And this goes back into what the brother was saying. But when I first had to learn to swim, like I could swim, but like there was a thing where you had to jump off the diving board, right? And it's like, am I still gonna be able to swim? Am I still gonna be able to float? And so I had to jump off the diving board, and as soon as everybody walked away, as soon as nobody was looking, I jumped off the diving board, and everybody turned around like, oh, he did it. You know what I mean? He did it. And I was safe. Like, yeah, I came right back up and I floated, and it was an amazing thing. Who's playing tennis in the rain right now? Jesus. Um, and it was an amazing thing because not only did I do it and I felt confidence and I felt empowered, but like it didn't hurt. I didn't drown. I was able to jump off and ever since then, like, forget about it. Forget about it. And so are the gatekeepers, you know what I mean, that I know that I have. There are gatekeepers. And there are famous people on different levels of the industry and different areas of fame or power, influence, and monetary income. They are watching me 100%. And these gatekeepers, I don't know if they're waiting for me to release, and as I talk to because I have an audition coming up, and I'm like telling the audition person this, and she's like, look, calm down, son. And I'm like, no, no, no. I'm like, you don't understand. And I'm explaining to her, like, because I like to think that my audience is everybody, but specifically Black folk. You know what I mean? Because Black folk are the gatekeepers to everything. You know what I mean? Especially my life, because Black people have raised me, and they've always been gatekeepers over my life. They've always considered themselves like influencers over my life and controllers over my life, i.e., gatekeepers. And I'm not saying that all gatekeepers are bad. It is a bad thing, but it also can be a good thing too. Man, Coyote Chaos, thank you for your positivity. What I would say to you is this. This is why part of the reason why I started my channel, because we have to start looking at each other as humans across the off topic, but we got to look at each other as humans. I was talking to a young lady today, beautiful white woman, by the way, beautiful white woman, gorgeous eyes, great shape, very attractive. Um, but her mind, I was literally turned on by her mind. outside of her outside perspective, meaning how she looked, her mind was just, it was like me and her were like parallel lines going up to the sky. Um, but yeah, we were having a discussion, me and the young lady, and I was telling her, I was like, I'm just trying to take us to infinity and beyond. I'm trying to get us to go to where no man has gone before, you know, to be Captain Kirk, you know what I mean? I want to be Captain Kirk. I want to be a captain, you know what I mean? And the Holy Spirit does call me captain. That's another topic for another day. And she's like, in order to get to where you envision, we would all have to envision ourselves or see each other as human, not woman or man, not Asian or black or white or Spanish. We have to get to a point where we see each other as humans. And she was right. You know what I mean? She was absolutely correct. And I said, you know what? I have a lot of work to do in the communication department, learning how to bring all the communication together to help us all figure out how to see each other as human, right? We have to communicate these things and make it a case to be won by the judgment of people's individual minds, if you follow what I'm saying, right? And so I'm a prosecutor trying to explain to your each individual judges out there that we all need to be seen as humans, right? And instead of our individual races, our individual genders. But that is also going back to the point, and I like how, because she's a writer, she kept going back to the point as we had these different paragraphs of contrast, that she would bring it back home to the point. She would bring those contrast areas back home to the point of the thesis of the story that we were writing together. And I was just like, yo, this woman's amazing. And bring it back to the point, the gatekeepers, they might be gatekeeping because maybe they feel a certain kind of way, right? You're not ready yet, or you're not exempling, like the brother said, you're not going through the trial and error like most of us had to go through. You might be relying on favoritism. Mm. And that's what I told the brother. They didn't have to tell me that, but I told the brother, maybe I'm relying on the gatekeepers and their favorites and me getting favoritism from them because they know that this and that, or they have studied me long enough to know these things. But maybe I'm relying on my popularity or favoritism. And the other brother said, no, I don't think that's what it is. I said, thank you, God. I said, thank you, God, because I'm being hard on myself and I'm hard enough on myself. I don't know who's playing tennis in the rain. It's interesting. It's interesting. But go Coyote Chaos, go. I believe that you're absolutely correct in the things that you got to say right here in the chat, and I appreciate you being in the chat, because it's some interesting folks that enter the chat, and I'm just hoping that that they stay. But I'm gonna remove their remarks. We got to just have some respect on people's chats and all that. That's it. But I respect you, Coyote Chaos. Thank you for your kind words, and everybody who's in here. Go through the chat and read what this brother is saying because, and I hope that you are, brother, because I don't know, you know, people's genders behind their identities on social media. Um, but the gatekeepers. Now, I'm also being gatekept when it comes to work. I could have stayed at my last job, but I don't, and I'm not talking about the post office. I'm talking about this other job, and I don't want to go through any type of abusive situations where people are yelling at me or envious of me or jealous of me because of my talents. Or just because of me who I am. The young lady that I work for recognized within the second day me working there, and I started on the day that I got interviewed. On the second day, she recognized like, oh yeah, ooh, I can see why you have trouble. People, you're talented. You anything you touch is going to be successful. She's telling me this, and I'm like, yeah, I know this is part of the issue, right? Like, people think that I'm trying to compete with them or that I want to enter the same realms as them, and I'm going a totally different direction than you imagine. Like, I don't even want what you have. I might give my input on it, but you could just be like, well, thank you, light skinned brother, for giving me your input, and I'll consider it. What I'm saying? Like, take it with grains of salt. Although I may be or may not be correct, I'm a leader. So wherever I see my need to input of leadership, you know what I mean? I might do that, but don't take it that I'm trying to take your place or you want your job. The Lord has me on a mission. I know where I'm going, and it's not where you're at. You know, I don't want what people have. The Lord has already showed me what's mine. I think the issue is that because we're all human and we pull from the same cloud, a lot of us don't understand how the dynamics of the world work. We are the technology, right? I've explained this before, but we are the technology. You know, we have phones and things that are third party instruments that we use to interact with the realms, right? But we are the technology that interacts with the realms, really for real. And we all pull from the cloud, right? The cloud via storage and stuff like that, it holds our pictures and our videos and things like that. We put it in the cloud, right? But actually and conceptually, we actually put our thoughts and our memories and things like that, and our intelligencies and our things that we pull from to create, that's in the cloud as well, and we all have access to it, and we all pull from different parts of that thought, right? Or that creativity. We pull from different parts of it. That's why you'll see a lot of similarities in the ideas that we have, and you'll see people collaborate because they see and they recognize that, hey, I have a different piece of the puzzle to the same thought, right? That was in the cloud, right? And so we're all connected in that matter. And so I think people see that as a competition thing where, he has a couple pieces, as Drake said, the crown shattered and I have most of the pieces, right? And so I have a bunch of pieces to the puzzle, but that doesn't interfere with me and you. I'm not looking to take from you. I'm not the United States currently that wants to take from Canada, which I don't understand why. You know what I'm saying? As the Canadians, uh, this is how they describe it. But most of us Americans, we don't want to take from Canadian, and I don't even think a lot of Americans even knew that we get a fourth or something of our electricity from Canada. We didn't know that. I didn't know that. It makes sense, but I didn't know that. That wasn't something that I looked to know. But it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Being that some of our states are closer to Canada than they are to, our major areas, right? So it makes sense. And so I'm like, okay, but I don't, the Canadians don't. I'm a little off topic, but don't promote that. Us Americans don't. We don't think about Canadians or Mexicans. We don't. We're not thinking about you. We're thinking about America. You feel what I'm saying? But we're not thinking about taking from you so that we can build ourselves up. Now, our politicians, I don't know what they think. They think co-optively, you know what I mean? They think militarily, they think strategically in their own right, in their own minds, you know, but they're not the average day citizens. That's what we're doing. We're not thinking about taking from other people's families. Most of us good, hardworking citizens are thinking about, you know, we're empathetic and sympathizing, but we're just trying to maintain what we have. You feel me saying? And it being grateful in the space that we're in. You understand what I'm saying? So back to gatekeeping, you know, and it is a good thing and it is a bad thing, but in the job sector, in my case, it's a bad thing. Like I need people to open up those gates. I'm very talented. I have a lot of areas of wealth that I can bring to you. As one of my elders had told me to say in a lot of like my cover photos, excuse me, cover photos, my cover letters on my resumes when I pass them out, that I should add, like it would be better for you to have me as your asset, excuse me, than to be a team member on somebody else's team working against your team. Because I'm such a good team member, it would be better for me to be on your team than against your team because I'm going to help that team win and I'm good at what I do. And granted, that might be another reason why I'm being gay cat because some people, like the Instagram page that I looked at earlier of this person, you know what I mean, that bring a wealth of emotions that I'm processing now because I don't want to be envious, jealous, hateful, or any of these things of anybody. You know what I mean? That's why I don't look at people's pages because I want to control my emotions. But it's when you do cross those feelings, you do process this. You process them. You got to process them so that they don't linger, so they don't fester, right? And it's good to be honest with yourself. I got to be honest with myself. You know what I mean? And I got to ask God to help me process my heart posture when it comes to these people, because ultimately I'm looking to please God. I'm looking to please God ultimately. That's what I'm looking to do. So I want to make it to heaven. So I got to process these things. I got to process these things. I got to say, oh, am I being jealous, Lord? Lord Jesus, am I being envious? The way I feel right now. Am I angry still? You know what I mean? Am I being unforgiving? It's just these things that I process. But back to the working part, and I applied for a position, and I walked in, this lady was in need of help, what I mean? Something that I'm super talented at, which is gym life. And she's like begging for help. And one of the trainers, they're talking with her, and he tells her, no, don't pick him. We don't want that kind of guy. And I'm like, whoa, I overheard it. And then next thing you know, she just kind of gives me a different type of vibe, a different energy. And um, I don't believe that I got the job. Now that day I met a woman there, amazing woman, by the way, Haitian woman. Um, and we talked occasionally, and she was asking me, you're following up with me. Did you get your interview? Did you get your interview? Did you get your interview? And I'm like, nah, I didn't tell her what I overheard, but you know, I I pray to the Lord about this type of stuff. Like, why do you allow me to be gatekept so much? I'm naturally talented at a lot of things. And one of my talents is you could teach it to me like once or twice, and I'll damn near have it mastered. Obviously, there's room for perfections, and I'm not perfect, right? But I'm really good at picking things up. Let's just say that. And so I'm just like, Lord, why do I get gatekept so much? Like, specifically when it comes to finances, I think that's the biggest thing that I've had to be gatekept at, because I'm talented, and people block out people in positions of power do block out other people because of how they feel towards them or how they feel about their opinion. Um, Me, I like to live my life fairly. I like to live my life fairly. Even if I don't like you, I still have to be fair. You know, Even if we don't agree on things, I still have to evaluate perspective and be fair based on those things, right? Because God is a fair God and He is a good God. And we are supposed to, and Jesus is fair. You know what I mean? And so we got to be like them. We're supposed to be walking like them. And so, you know, I'm not a God, I'm not Jesus, but my walk is supposed to be similar. I'm supposed to carry my cross, as Jesus said. I'm supposed to give up everything that I got and walk like Him. If I'm going to follow Jesus, I got to walk like Him. So I do. And I have given up a lot. I've given up everything, you know, um, for the Lord. I'm still in sin in some areas. I'm gonna talk about that on my next live. But I've been doing a very good job, But if that's one of the things that I asked for in Jesus giving me a miracle is remove the gatekeepers. It's specifically, maybe not necessarily right now when it comes to my musical talents or just the music industry stuff like that, because that might be a good thing to slowly enter into, with it being so demonic. Everybody says that the music industry is demonic. So maybe it's good that there's gatekeepers there, okay? And that slowly I gradually make my way into it, because God needs to take control of it. And I think that's what He's doing with the adjudication of a lot of these um like the Diddy's and stuff like that, and these people that do things, they do. God has to take it back and take control of it, so that people like myself can enter the industry and clean and stay clean. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so demonic the way people talk about it. But outside of that, when it comes to finances, a lot of people don't want me to do well, and I noticed that when I did do well in my life, because I'm really good at business. Um, I could be good at finances as long as the money keeps rolling in. Obviously, it has to keep rolling in because there's constant bills that have to be paid. Everything has to be paid. But I'm learning about a budget and I've been sticking to my budget. I think that's really something that men have to learn how to do is manage a budget. Um, and sticking to the budget and bringing in more income. But I just pray to the Lord that He remove the principalities, the gatekeepers over my financial life, or getting job opportunities. You know what I'm saying? And I'm dealing with a situation right now where people purposely are trying to gatekeep my life purposely because they want control over it, or they don't like me, or they don't like me based off what somebody else said instead of actually spending time with me or whatever. There's people that are gatekeeping that want physical and mental control over me. Not only has the Lord confirmed this, but it's been confirmed for me, you know. And I'm just like, Lord, why do these people need to be over my life? You know, but like one of my pastors said, we ask for our enemies to be removed, but maybe they're supposed to be there for a reason. And so, I just pray about it because I don't wish any harm on these gatekeepers, but it's sick. It's sick how some of these men and women want physical and mental control over me. It's really sick. It's actually one of those moments that makes you quiet and like think about it. It gives me goosebumps, seriously. And I'm dealing with a situation where this man, this gentleman, he's not a gentleman, but just out of respect, um, he's obsessed. He's so obsessed that he's done something that has put a hindrance and control over my life. And, I'm praying to the Lord that I be released from this situation, that I get the grace and the mercy because I'm willing to give grace and mercy. And again, to go back to the Instagram, the guy from my past, I'm just like, Lord, you know, let me process these feelings because I'm looking for you to do miracles in my life, specifically when it comes to gatekeepers. I've always had gatekeepers over my life since I was small, and people prevent me. And people might say, "Oh, this is not true." People might say, "Oh, this and that," or it's because of how you are, this and that, such and such. But that's I would just disagree with those notions. What I would say is that Job had three friends that came to visit him in the midst of his trouble, and he actually didn't do anything. Now, I'm not perfect. I have sinned, and I've caused some things on myself. Let's be honest, okay? Let's be honest. Not properly being strategic about it, being in my emotions and anger and wanting justice, whether it be justified or not, just wanting justice out of situations, you know, um, and stuff like that. So, being very reactive, basically, if I could be honest. Um, Sometimes I don't even have control over it, to be honest with you, because of the amount of traumas that I've been through. A lot of the times, I would say a lot of the times, when I have outbursts, it's really uncontrollable and it's been built up over time. And that's why I seek help because it's something that I really need to deal with in order to get to the next levels of success, i.e., possibly why I'm being gate kept as well, because it's like, okay, we need you to master this, you know, we need you to master this now. And you still haven't mastered it, you know what I mean? And I'm like, because I really don't want to. I'm looking for people to eventually come up to my level of thinking. You know, People say, "Oh, you have to come to people's levels." No, 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 no. Uh, that's a small X. No, 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 no. At some point, we have to start coming to other people's levels, not coming down to their level, but people gonna have to start rising up to other people's levels. Now, if that takes education, of whatever the subject matter may be, then you need to get it. But I'm I'm not willing and I'm tired. I'm not willing and I'm tired of having to lower myself and my standards down to lower standards or lower thinking in order for somebody to follow me or catch what I'm saying or no, I need you to come here, come up so that you can have understanding that I have understanding of, right? And then maybe you'll see me eye to eye, like, oh, I see where you're at mentally. And that's why, that you make or do certain things you do because now I can see eye to eye with you. See, sometimes we need to come up to people's levels instead of coming down to their level, right? And I think people, especially in my social group, which is black folk, like they'll start to really connect with me more and understand like he really is one of ours. He's thinking at a different level of consciousness though. Yes, right? Because we're supposed to be walking like Jesus. All of us, all of us in all colors and shades and ethnicities, but specifically black folk I'm talking about because we lead that movement. Whether we recognize it or not, we lead those movements. We gatekeep those movements. You feel what I'm saying? And so that's what I was telling the lady in church. I'm like, man, black folk gatekeep music. And you know it. She's like, we do. And I was like, you know, get black folk gatekeep music. I said, that's why a lot of us that are actually talented at music or have different sounds, and it's not that sound that might be the popular sound that's been going around, right? You know, we have different sounds, and like a Wale or like a Gold Link, you know what I mean? Who are super popular artists, like a Flow Rider. They're super popular artists in their genres and their industries, but they wouldn't and weren't accepted in their times of stepping up into those realms. We wasn't having, you know what I mean? It was, especially Flow Rider, like don't get me wrong, we have black folk that are part of different genres, but the majority of us is like, I'm not listening to Flow Rider. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and a lot of us still don't listen to Flow Rider. Flow Rider is like a specific genre of music, right? Wale, a lot of black folk have accepted Wale and love Wale, but base his base audience was like a Japanese audience, a white audience, a European audience. It wasn't black folk. We really didn't navigate to Wale because of how he rapped, the things that he was rapping to. You know, there's a lot of different things, and around the time he was coming up was the Little Waynes and all that type of stuff, right? And the Little Johns and all that. You know what I mean? So it was like, you know, you feel what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, look at Wale now. Like he has his core audience, but at the end of the day, it's not like we're hardcore listening to that person as we do Future, right? Future is black folk listening to Future. I don't care what genre of music you like in the black community. We all listen to Future, right? We can find a Future song that we like. That, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Something about his communication in certain songs we like. Mhm, mhm. And that's what I'm saying. The transcending the gatekeeping in the black community is big. And so like I think that weighs heavily on my mind. Like I'm trying to take us out of this murderous, adulterous, addictive character personality, covetousness personality music that we listen to. That you know, we're constantly coveting each other's husbands and wives. We're constantly wanting what each other has. We're constantly killing each other, and you know all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like I don't even need to say words. That's that poo-tang, you know what I'm saying? That poo-tang where you feel what I'm saying, but I don't even know what you're saying at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to bring us up to a different level of music that because we need it because it's because we tend to gravitate towards death and deaf music. You know what I mean? And and then there are different genres of deaf music, you know, and everything that we do, but it seems to have concentrated itself onto my community, and as I travel and I see different communities and how impoverished my own community is still to this day in 2020 25, I'm like, yo, I got to do something about it. It weighs on my heart. It's an urgency. Like I want to. You know what I mean? It's expected of by the ancestors of me to do these things. You know what I mean? Because when you love your communities, it's just something you want to do, you know? And a lot of cultures, they go to college in our Americas and then they go back and reinvest in their community, or they'll build business here, but they'll send funds back over to their communities and wherever they are, their nationalities. And I just want to create that same pocket for my community. Not that black folk aren't doing that, not that there's not black folk that are not doing that, but that we just need more. We need more. We need more. And the strategy amongst that to, to heal our populations. You know what I mean? Now Jesus said that there will always be poverty, there will always be the homeless, there will always be the needy. But that he didn't say that it would be big, big portions of it. He didn't say that it would be big. He said we'll always be there, but he didn't say that was going to be big or it had to be big portions of it. You know what I mean? So we need to decrease these portions of poverty, whether it be in mindset or in financial lack. You know, although I have some lack right now, I know I don't lack because the Most High God has abundance, and all I need to do is call on Him, and I can pull from His source of abundance. But these gatekeepers, you know what I'm saying? These gatekeepers, and I really need God to remove these gatekeepers. Um, that doesn't mean unalive them. That does not mean unalive them. That means, Lord, give them a dream. You know what I mean? Um, I want to use a story from the Bible, but that's for my other live. I gotta wait. That story is from my other live. But you know, I just wish that the gatekeepers were removed, and that the people that actually have this sickness or obsession with me that want control over my life, women and men, um, that the Lord roots that spirit out of them, and that I've never been that way to where I want to gatekeep somebody, even if I don't like. I can't give you a story. When I was student body president, there was a young lady who was coming up after me, and she was trying to basically use my likeness to get her elected. Long story short, without having to say so much. And I did not really want her to be president. I didn't like her that much. She wasn't a bad person. It's just, and we hung out. I kind of got to know her. Uh, I don't hate you. But I never stopped her from trying to get an opportunity. When she asked something from me, I never tried to prevent her. Even when it comes to my brothers who I know might not like me, or who I know um, might want to take from me and all that. I've never tried to prevent them from opportunities. If I don't have it, I don't have it. But if I got it, even if I don't like you, or even if I don't think that you should have it, I still open up those opportunities, because who am I to gatekeep somebody? Now, whether you know what to do with the opportunity or not will really determine whether you deserve that opportunity or not. But I'm not going to gatekeep information, unless the Lord tells me to. But I'm not going to gatekeep opportunities. That's just not who I am. We all are supposed to live in abundance, and we should all open opportunity up. You know what I mean? Now, granted, there's, situations and gray areas in between, right? But, these gatekeepers, man, y'all are really holding me back from getting access to financial security. And I'm trying to just take care of my kid and myself and just pay my little bills. Like, while I work on my crafts that are going to actually make me the financial success. But the enemy, that's what he does. That's what she does. The enemy wants to hold you down, and they attack your finances. You know what I mean? And they gatekeep that. And so, if you really are out there, if you're out there for me, pray over my life and prophesy over my life that all gatekeepers in all realms be removed. Because that's one of the miracles I pray for myself. Like, I've seen Jesus do a lot of miracles for others, but in reference to my own self, I haven't really seen him do a miracle for me. Yes, the Lord helps me, but like a miracle, because I look at miracles as because the way the Bible talks about miracles, those are like the miraculous things, not the little simple things, right? God's gonna help us and helps us out, and you thank God and be grateful. But when God does a miracle, those things are looked at as like, whoa. So, anyways, lifestyle here. This was Gatekeepers. Stop gatekeeping people's lives. There's a lot of podcasters out here too that do reviews on other people's lives and all that, and that's gatekeeping. You're a principality over somebody else's life, and you got to stop that. That's not what the Most High asked us to do. But anyways, lifestyle here. Child of God. Later, y'all. Peace.